Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Mabel, and I'm here to help you master A level psychology. I know that studying psychology at this level can feel overwhelming, but with the right guidance, it doesn't have to be. In each video, I'll break down complex topics, give you essential study tips, and share strategies to help you ace your exams. So, whether you're preparing for the exam or just curious about psychology, you're in the right place. Today's topic would be Monkey Toy Preferences by Hassett and colleagues. Professor Wallen has worked with monkeys for over 50 years, and he was investigating whether monkeys show a preference for sex type toys when given a choice between stereotypical male and female toys. He also found that the behavior of monkeys paralleled that of children using a toy preference task, suggesting that toy preferences are not primarily a result of socialization, but rather it's due to biological differences. Now, you may ask, what are stereotypical male and female toys? Meaning, traditionally, what toys does boy likes to play and what kind of toys that girls likes to play? Maybe you would say something like, well, boy likes to play with cars and action figures, swords and guns, while girls likes to play with toys, tea sets, arts and craft. Well then, do you think girls play likes to play with dolls naturally or because they are being influenced? In other words, they are being taught to play with dolls. So this is what the researchers were trying to find out in this research. So now we move on to sex differences and the role of nature. The sex of mammals is determined by sex chromosome, which affect their level of sex hormones. This causes differences in the development of male and female brains and consequently their cognitive processes. In a nursery, most likely we will see that boys are more likely to be seen playing with cars and girls with dolls. However, this doesn't mean that girls don't like to play with cars. In fact, some research found that girls like playing with trucks more than boys like playing with dolls. So then, what specific hormones are involved in shaping toy preferences and how do they affect behavior? Research indicates that prenatal androgens, especially testosterone, play a significant role in shaping sex type behaviors and preferences. Higher levels of prenatal testosterone have been associated with increased interest in traditionally masculine activities such as rough and tumble play, while lower levels are linked to preferences for more traditionally feminine activities, such as nurturing play. Let's look into nature versus nurture debate on toy preferences. So, from a nurture point of view, children learn about gender and societal norms through socialization, leading them to conform to stereotypical gender roles and seek out sex type toys. Hassett et al., however, rejected the socialization explanation for toy preferences and believe in the biological explanation, which bring us into nurture debate. Boys and girls play with toys which suit their cognitive abilities, and this depends on each child's sex hormone levels. Hence, toys are selected due to the play activities that they preferred, not due to societal norm or on gender appropriate toys. So, what role does socialization play in reinforcing or challenging traditional gender roles in children? From a nurture debate, socialization plays a crucial role in reinforcing gender roles through various agents, such as the child's parents, their peers, and media as well. Children receive messages about what is considered appropriate for their gender, which can influence their toys choices and play behaviors. So, for example, boy may be encouraged to play with trucks and action figures, while girls may be given dolls and kitchen sets right from the beginning, which reinforcing traditional gender norms. Now, the researcher also mentioned something called congenital adrenal hyperplasia, CAH, in this research, and it's a rare genetic disorder that affects the adrenal glands, which are small organs located on top of our kidneys. So these glands produce various hormones, which include cortisol, aldosterone, and androgens, which are the male hormones. And CAH is primarily caused by the deficiency in the 21 hydroxylase enzyme, which required to produce hormones in the adrenal glands. Let's look at the symptoms. In newborns, symptoms may include like ambiguous genitalia in females due to excess of androgen exposure during fetal development, which is when the baby is still in the mommy's tummy. In both sexes, symptoms can include rapid growth during childhood but shorter adult height, and it is early onset on puberty. Next one would be irregular menstrual cycle in females. And lastly, increased body hair in females. There are some previous research done on monkeys as well. For example, Alexander and Hines in 2002 found the following. More male vivid monkeys than female monkeys played with stereotypical male toys. And unlike humans, male monkeys spend an equal time interacting with male and female toys, which means male monkeys equally like the male and female toys. Female monkeys shows a strong preference for stereotypical female toys rather than male toys. We are now moving into aims of the research. Number one is to test if sex differences in children's toy preferences are actually due to biological factors, which mean exposure of a high levels of prenatal androgen rather than socialization. Number two is to investigate whether male and female rhesus monkeys have similar toy preferences to human children despite having no experience socializing with human toys. Let us move on to research method, design, and variables. The research method being used in this research is field experiment involving a controlled observation where the monkey were kept indoors. Data was collected by behavior observation, where the researcher done it with video recording. The research design is the independent measure, where two groups of monkeys were compared, males and the females, and independent variables, which is the sex of the monkey, male or female. And lastly, the dependent variable is whether the monkeys interacted more with the plush toys or the real toys. Let us move on to the sample of the research. Originally, there were 135 juvenile rhesus monkeys were from the Yerkes National Primate Research Center field station, but 53 of them were excluded, and only 82 took part. Among them, it was 61 females and 21 males. They were infant and adult monkeys. Reason for excluding the 53 monkeys. So, 14 of them had previously participated in research on prenatal hormones, so they weren't included in the current study. And this is to reduce demand characteristic and other effects. So, on top of that, 39 were excluded since they were too young and it was hard to tell their sex. Therefore, only 34 of them, which is 23 females and 11 males, interacted with the toys on more than 5 occasions. Therefore, their data was included in the analysis. Let me go through the procedure with you here. So, number one, there were 25 minutes trials were completed in the outdoor area, which is in the research center. there were a total of 175 minutes altogether. Before each observation, the observers placed a pair of toys, which is one wheeled toys and one plush toys, outside where the monkeys waited inside. And then toys were placed 10 meters apart, and their position were counterbalanced to ensure that the monkey didn't prefer a certain area of the enclosure. For example, maybe 3 times wheel were put on the left, plush toys on the right side, then another 4 times of wheels on the right side, plush toys on the left side. The toys were varied in shape, size, and color and were selected on what you could do with them. Overall, there were 6 wheeled toys, including a wagon, truck, and car, 7 plush toys, including a Winnie the Pooh, Raggedy Ann, and Scooby-Doo doll. Now here, let me use some visuals to help you to understand the procedure much better. Now, as you can see here, there is indoor and there's outdoor. The monkeys were kept indoor, and when they were kept indoor, the researcher put 2 different toys with 10 meters apart in the outdoor area in the research center. And this entire procedure will run for 25 minutes. When the monkeys, they are allowed to go outdoor to interact with the toys. So when the 25 minutes observation is up, the monkey were kept indoor again, and the researcher would replace with another set of toys. And this time they would put the plush toys on the left and truck on the right. As before, you can see the wheels were on the left, the plush toys were on the right. After that, when they have replaced with a new set of toys, the monkey will let indoor again to interact with the toys. And they will run this for another 25 minutes. So there were a total of 7 times of 25 minutes were run throughout this research. Now let's move into the observation and data collection. The researcher conducted behavioral observations to record the interactions of the monkeys with the toys. They took 2 kinds of data, which is the frequency and duration of the play with each toy. This is to ensure that all instances of interaction were documented. On top of that, a video camera was focused on each toy to record the interactions. 2 observers watched the videos and used a behavioral checklist to categorize the behavior of the monkeys. Now, they recorded the data using the app, hands up on the Palm Pilots. It's like a device similar to a mobile phone. Another type of data, which is the duration data, the researcher recorded the start and finish of each interaction. They used the behavioral checklist, which included extended touching, holding, sitting on, dragging, carrying, etc. So let me take 2 examples of the operational definition of the behaviors. For example, extended touch, which is described as placing a hand or foot on the toy. Another one would be sit on. The operational definition would be seated on the toy or part of the toy. Now, this is the example from the behavioral checklist. Let's dive straight into the results of the research. So they found that most of the monkeys didn't interact with the toys. Only a few interacted frequently and for long. So therefore, 17 of the monkeys who showed less than 5 behaviors from the behavioral checklist were excluded. Among the remaining monkeys, male monkeys played with wheel toys for a longer time than females. However, the standard deviation was high, meaning that some males played for longer than others. whereas female monkeys played with plush toys for a longer time than male monkeys. There wasn't a significant difference in time spent playing with wheeled or plush toys. So there's another aspect we would have to look into, which is the social rank. A significant positive correlation between the social rank, which is means the dominance of the monkeys, and the frequency of interaction was found. It can be explained by the higher ranking monkeys interact more with the toys. Female monkeys who preferred plush toys had a higher rank than those who had no preference. Let's look at the results in more details. The male monkeys prefer wheeled toys with a mean score of 9.77 compared to plush toys with a mean score of 2.06. Males monkey played with plush toys less than the females. 73% of males preferred wheeled toys and only 9% preferred plush toys. 80% showed no significant preference. These preferences were not affected by age or rank. So, what about female monkeys? Female monkeys showed no preference other than an insignificant preference for plush toys. The mean plush toys preference were 7.97, whereas mean wheeled toys preference were 6.96. Only 30% of females preferred plush toys, whereas 39% preferred wheeled toys, and 30% of them showed no significant preference. After looking at the results, we can now go into conclusion. There are a few conclusions over here. Number one, sex types preferences in human may be due to biological differences, because even without differences in socialization, monkeys showed a preference similar to human infants. More particularly, male monkeys, similar to boys, have a strong preference to masculine types toys, whereas female monkeys are more variable in their toy preferences. So remember that I was showing you earlier that in a previous research done by Alexander and Heinz, which is in line with the finding of this research, where more male monkeys than the female monkeys play with stereotypical male toys. And last one, toy preferences reflect behavioral and cognitive biases, which have been influenced by the hormones and not by the socialization. Now, let us move on to the strength of the research. There are a good few strengths here. So, number one, which is the ethical guidelines on treating lab animals, were followed by the researchers when caring for the monkeys. These monkeys had constant access to water, and the researcher fed the monkey every day. So, number two, which is the researcher used the operationalized behavioral checklist, which increased the validity and reliability of the results, as it guided the researchers on how to record observation in the same way. Remember, there were two observers watching the video. So, for example, the behavior sit on was described as sitting on or part of the toy. Now, different pairs of the toys were used on each trial, and this increased the validity as we can determine that males were drawn to wheels in general and not just as a specific wheel toy. Another two strengths of the research, and they are using the video cameras increased the validity of the data recorded because the monkey were used to the cameras. If the researcher recorded data in a person instead, the monkey might show demand characteristic by playing more or can be less with the toys. So the last one of the strength of the research is quantitative data collected on toy interaction duration, which allowed for the objective calculation of the average time the monkey spent with the toys. This removes any rooms for subjective interpretations. There are also a few witnesses of the research. The standardized procedure was abandoned for a trial. because a monkey tore a plush toy, causing the trial to be stopped at 7 minutes early. Now, remember there were 7 trials of 25 minutes of each observation, and one of the trial ended early due to a plush toy was torn and the other monkeys couldn't play with it anymore. This reduces the reliability of the results. So, number 2, there is a chance of the observer bias may have increased subjectivity. The researchers who actually analyzed the tapes were familiar with the monkeys and their gender, and this could have led them to unintentionally code the behavior of the monkeys differently to their actual behavior. Number 3, there were actually a lack of adult males in the sample, hence reducing the generalizability of the result. Furthermore, the only one high-ranking male didn't interact with the toys. Hence, findings can only be generalized to lower-ranking non-adult male monkeys. Let's move on. Ecological validity is low because the sample consisted of monkeys in captivity, and they might be more likely to show interest in new objects in their environment. So therefore, we can't really entirely generalize the results to explain if wild monkeys behave the same way. Last but not least, validity is low because in each trial, a group of monkeys was sent out. So if one monkey occupied with the wheeled toy, the other monkeys wanting to play with the toy would go to the plush toy regardless of their personal preference. We can now move on to the final part of the research, which is the summary of the research. There are 2 parts here. Number 1 is nature versus nurture, and number 2 will be the application to everyday's life. Now, for the nature and nurture, so Hassett believed that toy preferences in humans are due to nature because male monkeys prefer wheel toys over plush toys, whereas female shows no clear preference at all. The findings supported the nurture debate that interactions were affected by social rank. The female monkey's social rank was positively correlated with the time spent interacting with both toys. However, the female dominance is influenced by testosterone, which is a biological effect. Last but not least, the application to everyday's life. Choosing toys for children. Now, the children may choose toys based on their biological differences in their body and not be influenced by socialization. So if children are like monkey, they would choose a certain types of toys to play with, and their future talents may be shaped by these choices. Now that's the last part of the entire research. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this breakdown helped make today's topic a bit clearer and easier to understand. If you find it useful, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more A-level psychology tips, explanation, and study guides. And don't forget to hit the bell icon so you're notified whenever I post new content. If you have any questions about today's lesson or any topics you'd like me to cover, please feel free to drop them in the comments below. I love to hear from you. Good luck with your studies and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.